¿Qué pasó, mi gente? It's Mark Tip 25 otra vez y bienvenidos a un otro episodio de El Chuco Sportscast, episodio 19, episode 19. And you know my brother Mario. ¿Qué pasó, dude? Red MT.
Good man, everything's good. Been really busy, but thank God, we're doing good.
Yeah, same here. I mean, the whole snowstorm in Texas kind of threw everything out of whack. I mean, I guess I could have done a recording, but I know you were still busy with some stuff. And sometimes it's just hard to do things when you're focusing on everything else. Like I wasn't able to work because, I work two jobs and they closed down and I didn't feel much motivation. And I know that's shitty to say, but sometimes you kind of just need a break from everything. And I kind of just found solace in talking to people on Lockerroom and stuff, and just chilling with my wife. So that's just kind of how it was for me at that point. But at least we're trying to get another episode out because I got to at least make some videos for this channel, especially since now I just wanted to make a small little announcement. I'm at 64 subscribers on this channel now, which is pretty good. I was trying to at least hit 50 to kind of excuse me to kind of start off the year, and I'm glad I at least hit that threshold. So the next big goal is hitting 100, and then it only goes further from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good accomplishment. We're getting there slowly. I have to put my stuff on hold for right now just to finish school and just try to make some money to make sure everything's okay. But like I said, you know, we'll be taking off. All of us started from the bottom. We'll be taking off soon, so I'm not worried about that. But yeah, I mean, last week was something to remember. It's like, well, the last time this happened was like 10 years ago. So 10 years later happens again. And it got so bad to the point where they shut down school for a week. So I still had to go in for work, but they shut school was just, there was no way we were coming in. Even all online classes were canceled. So that was interesting. But hey, things happen.
Yeah, but at least in the future, I'm gonna try my best to pump some videos out. I can't guarantee anything, and what I'm gonna say is this: as far as from now on, I'm not gonna announce what I'm doing unless it's actually being posted, because I don't think it's fair to the fans that I can't post something like I promise I'm going to do something and then it doesn't get posted. So I'm just not going to do that anymore. I'm going to wait until I for sure am ready to post it. And when I post it, I'll announce it, just so fans are not like being like, yo, dude, where the hell you said you were going to do this and you never did. And because I see it in other YouTubers videos. I see it. So I'm just going to try my best to like make content when I'm able, especially since I'm also still trying to gain a certification. And right now I'm through another module, but it's this current module is kind of hard. It's kind of killing me because it's ¿cómo se llama? You know, uh, planning for a curriculum and all that stuff. So I'm just trying to get that situated. But that's neither here or there. Let's kind of get started because I don't want to waste too much more time. So with this, we're going to talk a little bit about the NBA standings currently because it's pretty much close to the halfway point. Like the All-Star game is in March, so we're getting to that point. So let's kind of look at this real quick. So we have Philadelphia in the Eastern Conference at number one. They've been pretty much consistent throughout, with 22 and 11, and they won their last two on a 6-4 win streak, or a game streak, whatever. And then the Nets have been pretty good. They've won the last 8 games, so they're making it work. And some of those games were without Kevin Durant, so that's going to be pretty damn good. I know that again, there's still an issue of there being a defensive presence that's not available there, but for what it's worth, they've been killing it. So we'll see what
Jeez.
happens there.
This
And
is nice
then,
to see, man. This really is nice to see. Philly and Brooklyn.
mhm.
I have a good feeling. Hopefully, come playoff time, I hope to see them, in the playoffs and hopefully go far. So
Well, no, I mean, of course, there's no doubt in my mind they're going to be in the playoffs. It's whether who the main question is who's making the finals, really. A lot of people think the Brooklyn Nets are like at least they're going to be close, but they're not going to make the finals because again, they don't have a defensive presence or depth. A lot of people think it's either going to be Philly, Milwaukee, or possibly Brooklyn, but the people are leaning more towards Philly because they have a better defense, and Joel Embiid has just been killing it this year. Milwaukee, I mean, although they're third in the conference, they've still kind of struggled in this season. They're not as strong as they were last season, so we'll see what happens. I mean, again, it's still kind of like close to the midway point, and we'll see what happens after that. And then the Raptors kind of made a turnaround. They were starting off really shaky, and now they're back in the swing of things. Then Miami Heat. I'll admit, at least the East in the lower part has kind of gotten a little shaky because some teams have been out with COVID protocols and certain injuries. So yeah, that's gonna happen. We're in a very weird time. But Miami's kind of bounced back a little bit. They've won their last 5 games, which is nice to see because everybody was kind of thinking that they were pretenders from last year. So it is what it is. And then New York has been doing pretty well this season. Julius Randle is an all-star for this all-star game, which is awesome. You know, a lot of people used to not think much of him. I thought he was pretty decent, but now that he's an all-star, it's nice to see. I'm glad to see that Julius Randle has come into his own and that New York squad is thriving.
First
And
time in a
then
long time we see him not at the bottom. So
yeah,
this is some good. This is very promising.
and then I see this little line here because this, like last season, they're starting to do a play-in deal where it's like the 7th through the 10th, and I guess they play for the last 2 spots for the playoffs, like they did last year.
So
So
they're gonna do like a wild card kind of matchup like they do in the NFL.
I guess kind of, but not really, but kind of. It's just dependent upon record and shit. But at least for the remainders, you have like Boston, Indiana, Chicago, and Charlotte, at least the front runners for those final play-in spots. Atlanta has kind of like they started off really good all of a sudden, and then they just fell off. I mean, and it's not really due to. I mean, well, I guess it's partially Trae Young because Trae Young he's being known as a really bad defender. He's a good offensive player, but he's just not a very good defensive player because of his size, and he's just not very quick to defend. And yeah, it's not working for him in that regard. So they're probably going to need to get some defenders to help Trae Young if they're going to be successful in the future. But yeah, the Bulls have gotten better. The Pacers, they've kind of slid a little bit, but they're still not bad. Washington, like everybody thought that they would be a dark horse in the East, but again, they started off extremely rocky. Bradley Beal has been having to carry. However, as of late, Russell Westbrook has starting to play a little bit better again. But again, they're still in a lowest spot because they start off horribly. But let's see what happens. Hopefully they can do well. I mean, Washington's doing well, and then Orlando is they're meh. Like Cleveland started off great, and then they've fallen off. But Orlando, Vucevic, I believe, is in the All Star game, so good for him. I mean, I think he's been in a couple of All Star games, but overall, yeah, he's still been putting up decent numbers. As far as the Western Conference, we have the Jazz, who have been a really big surprise this year. They're putting up some really great offensive numbers, like rivaling, like as far as shooting, they're almost rivaling the Warriors, like from like a few years ago. Like their shooting is outrageous. I mean, they've lost the last game, but they've won the last 8 out of their 10 games. Then the Clippers have been doing pretty well. They're at the second seed. A lot of people again were counting them out, and that's just life sometimes. Sometimes you gotta prove people wrong. Los Angeles has been struggling as of late only because they've been without AD and Dennis Schroeder. But I mean, they're still in a good spot for the most part. If
Hey,
AD
hey,
if AD comes back, I'm certain they're gonna be, gearing for a higher seed come
well, yeah,
playoff
I
time.
mean, to see both LA teams still at the top, just like last year, I mean, it's a good sign that it's going to be a good playoffs. I mean, I would hope that somehow this year that the Clippers, don't falter like they did last time, and maybe they come out on top. It'd be nice to see because
Yeah,
this
because that was dead. That was horrible. Like for them to have lost the way they did to the Nuggets in a freaking 3-1 lead and they lost it.
Yeah, that shouldn't have happened, man. That's we've had our fair share of seeing those kind of leads break, and we're like, huh, what's going on here?
No, I mean, but last year, dude, it was just the Clippers fucking up, dude. Like Doc Rivers not putting in better rotations or like, switching things up. He didn't have it, and then players just weren't performing right, like Lou Will and Harrell, who's now on the Lakers. But yeah, it was just a weird season last year. And then Phoenix has been pretty good. Like they've had a very surprising season. I mean, I'm not gonna say that they weren't gonna be
They
a
had a
decent
strong start.
team.
Well, they had a strong start, so I mean, I'm not surprised to see them still in the top five as of right now.
Well, and
So
then Booker was a lot of people were thinking he was going to be a snub, but he actually got into the All-Star game because he's going to be replacing AD because he's still out on injury. Oh, and I think also I forgot to mention Kevin Durant. I don't think he's going to be playing, so he's being replaced by Domantas Sabonis from the Pacers. So yeah, that's good for him. I mean, Demontis was an all-star last year, and people thought it was a fluke, which I think is such bullshit. He's been putting up decent numbers.
when is the
And then
where's the All Star going to be
it's in
played?
Atlanta. It was originally going to be in Indiana, like some place in Indiana, and then they fucking like changed it out of nowhere. So I'm like, I don't know. I guess they were like,
Man,
ah, we ain't gonna do shit in Indiana.
oh,
That
that's
no,
messed. That is.
that's what it seems like, dude. It seems like they kind of just like gypped Indiana of a chance to host an All-Star game. I don't think that's fair, but whatever. The league is going to do what it
Well,
wants.
I mean, come on, wherever the Pacers are in Indiana, they should at least have that chance. I mean, I feel when it comes to the All Star game, every location where they have an NBA team, they should be allowed to host. They should alternate between the 30 teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess, but it's the problem is it's what's going to draw the
It's
most crowds, what's going to get the most money.
and
So,
politics. Yeah.
yeah, probably that too. Because I mean, a lot of these are
Oh no,
smaller,
definitely
like
that
those are
too.
smaller markets. Like Indiana's a smaller market than Atlanta.
But still, you got 30 teams out of the entire
I
league.
know,
I
dude, but
mean,
again, they a lot of times they favor the bigger markets. That's just how it is. I don't know how else to say it. That's just life.
it's stupid.
Okay, and then San Antonio has been really surprising this year. They look like last year they were about to be, I mean, they were completely out of the playoffs. And this year, Greg Popovich has kind of brought them back into contention. So that's a pretty strong, solid team. I mean, DeMar DeRozan has been playing well. Marcus Aldridge has been doing decently. So that's kind of cool for the Spurs. I'm not happy, but whatever. I mean,
Well,
and then the Portland Trail Blazers, Dame has been putting in work, especially even without CJ McCollum, who's been injured. And I think Nurkic also got injured too. So he's been kind of shorthanded and still been putting up some decent numbers and leading them to wins. I mean, they've lost the last four, but still, they're still a decent team. Let's not pretend that they're not. Then the Warriors, they're okay. So we have the play-in spots from 7th to 10. The Warriors, the Nuggets, the Mavericks, and the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, I don't think they have Jaren Jackson back. I think he's still off on a pretty bad injury. The Mavericks have just been struggling because of, again, COVID protocols and injuries. But they have won the last 7 of 10 games. And the Nuggets have been kind of disappointing this season. A lot of people, I mean, Jokic is playing out of his fucking mind, and he's pretty much on par for the MVP race. So yeah, that's kind of just what he has going for him at that point. But yeah, the Nuggets just I don't know what's happened. Like Jamal Murray has been very inconsistent, like opposed to what he was in the bubble. He just kind of disappeared. And then the Warriors, Stephen Curry has been doing his very best to keep this team afloat. I mean, and then um, Kelly Oubre has had some of his moments, like that one game against the Mavericks that kind of fucking pissed me off. They let him go for goddamn 40 points, like shooting the lights out. I was like, what the fuck? Why the fuck does he wait to play Dallas to be great? I mean, and then like they played back to back, so the Mavericks got them the second time, but they almost lost because Steph was putting on a freaking amazing show. I think he had like 57 or something in that game. Going, I think nine. He had 8 or 9 threes in that game. Oh my god! I mean, Luca did pretty well in that game too. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he had
did you see?
42.
Yeah, did you see that game against Boston? Yeah,
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 they did
that
pretty well, but
last
then they
that
lost
buzzer beater.
yesterday against shit, who was it? Oh, I forgot who they played against yesterday, but they it wasn't good.
Well, but I mean, still, it's like that those buzzer beater man. Like he's just when least expected, he surprises me. He's like he's capable, but like I said, he. I hope he works on not wearing his emotions on his sleeve
Well, yeah, of
that
course.
way.
No, no, yeah, no doubt. I agree with that. Part of it is though is like I've noticed this is just me and people are probably going to disagree, but when I've watched some of the games, the thing I have noticed is that the ball movement is very like sparse. I understand that he's their main playmaker and there's the other guys are not as capable, but you still got to at least have some sort of plan to move the ball. You can't just be standing there. And then also like Luca, as much as like sometimes he'll hit those crazy shots, but sometimes I think he forces a contested shot, and he needs to find more open looks. Because when he has open looks at 3 point range, he tends to hit it a little bit more. And I will admit he has improved this season. He's gotten better now, which is good because that's what we need from him. We need him to be a better shooter. But as of this point, like he's still not on that level of being a great shooter yet, but he'll get there. And like because I you can see it, there's potential, and he's still young. Like he's 21, so
Now he's legal now. All
yeah, he was.
right.
Vas a pistear, Luca. Ándale, mijo.
Now we could try to hang with him and buy him drinks and shit.
Yeah, imagínate, güey. Just freaking meeting Luka Doncic at a bar. Hey, ¿qué pasó, güey?
No, I'm sure one day, one day we'll meet him because he's a cool kid. He's a cool guy, man. I'm sure he's genuine too. So
Yeah, he seems like a very genuine guy. And then yeah, the rest of the league. I mean, Houston was looking good at first, but then they kind of just fall off a cliff. And I mean, of course, and they also waived Boogie Cousins because I guess he wasn't enjoying the role he had, which I don't know. Like, it makes me sad because I do like DeMarcus Cousins, but he's kind of his own worst enemy in that regard. Cause it's like, dude, like where else are you gonna go? Who's gonna vie for you now? You should have just played the role. Cause now it's starting to become like a Carmelo Anthony situation where people are not interested in signing him unless he's gonna at least, fall into a role. And look at Carmelo now. Carmelo has like, found a home in Portland and he's thriving and he's doing great.
yeah, he seems to be playing a lot better than he seems to be playing better than he's ever played when he was in New York. And he did fairly well in Denver, but New York is just like he just took a dive.
I wouldn't say that. Like he was still putting up amazing statistical numbers. He was doing well. He just wasn't a great defensive player. And yeah, he would force a lot of things and that's just the thing. That's his legacy in a
Well, it's
nutshell
just
at this
like yeah,
point.
all
It's
those
not
ball.
saying that he's a bad player, but he definitely wasn't a very good teammate.
No,
That I can
That's
at
what I
least mean,
mean.
but like to
That
say that
doesn't.
but to say he's played better than he had in Denver and New York is kind of that's not a very fair statement because he was playing well, but at the same time he did too many things and he wasn't a great team player. But
Well, that's what I'm
I'm
saying.
not
That
going to
doesn't
really
mean
discuss that
anything.
more on that.
That doesn't mean anything if your team's losing. So you're not a team player. That affects your playing overall because I just feel like he seems to have a more sense of teamwork now. I don't know. That's what I'm getting now that he's in
Well, he's finally
Oakland.
understood that I have to play a role here. I can't just be forcing the issue because it doesn't help winning. And he sees that now.
I'm glad.
But
It took him a while, but
It's not that Carmelo wasn't talented. He's always been talented. He's just
he's very selfish. He was a
mhm,
selfish player. That's what
mhm.
I got when I would watch him play. But it seems like he's learning. Like you said, is I'm glad that he's learning that now. It's taken. I wish he had learned that earlier in his career, but at least he's doing it now, and they're doing better. So
But yeah, as far as like the Western Conference, I mean, I foresee the Jazz, Clippers, and Lakers being like those teams that get farther into the playoffs. Phoenix Suns and the Trailblazers. I know like the people don't think it, but the Trailblazers I think are a dark horse team, and so are the Suns in the West. But it's definitely going to come down to Utah and the LA teams as far as the West. At least kind of a slight prediction. I might make another excuse me, another prediction video when it gets closer to the playoffs. And then the East, we have the Sixers, the Nets, and the Bucks. I think those three again are probably going to be the main ones that go in a deep run. The two dark horse teams I foresee. I mean, if Boston gets their shit together, probably Boston, Miami, and possibly Toronto. Who knows? Like those three teams, I can foresee. Just upsetting
Yeah.
people because I mean, Miami did it last year. Nobody thought
Yeah.
Miami was going to get as far as they did, and they fucking killed it. And again, Miami's been kind of struggling, but I'm certain they'll find their way back.
Yeah.
I mean, but those are like dark horse ideas. I don't think they're going to be like content. I don't think they're going to make the finals again, but they're at least going to probably give some teams some problems. Milwaukee, I don't foresee them making the finals this year, dude. Like Giannis's team has not been the same, and yeah, it just and not to say that they're horrible, but they're not as good as they were last year, and it's almost looking like a big mistake for Giannis to have signed that long contract with the Bucks. I was hoping he would go in free agency and sign with Dallas. That was my hope, but obviously Dallas can never have anything nice.
Well, I mean, maybe just Giannis doesn't want to be there. It all depends on also the player where he wants to be.
Well, yeah, I mean he seems pretty loyal. I mean, there's some players that are loyal to a detriment, but it's see at the same time we shouldn't like damn a person for being loyal. I mean, I'm happy that he's at least content, but who knows how long that's going to remain the case? You know what I mean? If the losing continues to happen, or if he starts to get frustrated that they never get any farther in the playoffs, that's I don't know. I think Giannis should have forced something a little bit more. That whole thing with Bogdanovich kind of no. Is it Bogdan or Boyan? It was one of them, one of the Bogdanoviches. They tried to get him, and then some shit happened, and the trade fell through, and there was an investigation. Yeah, that shit fucking killed them. Like that would because if they had gotten him, that would have been a really good contending team, but they didn't. So tough shit. But anyhow, that's at least what we have for the conference standings for the NBA. Let's kind of check out the NBA rosters, the All Star rosters. There were a lot of people that were pissed that some players were snubbed, and of course, some of the snubs are now replacing players that are not playing. Like for example, Kevin Durant is going to be replaced by Domantas Sabonis, and AD is going to be replaced by Devin Booker. So at least they get a shot now to prove their mettle. And speaking of like snubs, uh, there's a YouTuber out there right now who's killing it. His name is TSO Sage, and that guy's fucking amazing. He's funny. Y'all should definitely check him out. Like I'll even link the snubs video that he did. It was fucking hilarious. But yeah, as far as
Yeah, yeah. Nice to see Luca on that list, man. Well deserved.
well, some people don't think it was. Some
I
people
think.
think
Oh,
he shouldn't
why?
have. No, no,
Why?
no, no.
Where?
Not that he shouldn't have made the All Star team, but they feel he shouldn't have been the starter. They felt that it should have been Damian Lillard. That should have been the starter. And I can see their points. I could see a lot of people's reasoning for to have Dame as the starter. And in all honesty, I slightly agree. I slightly. I mean, I'm trying not to be biased on this, but it's like, look, despite all that has happened, Luca has been putting up pretty phenomenal numbers on a losing team. Granted, yeah, the losing team deal probably should have made him not a starter. They should have made him a reserve, but still on the All Star team. Whereas Dame, like he's playing way better. His team has the better record, and I don't know. There's just a lot that goes into it, and people were upset. But I don't know. At least they're both on the All Star team, so I'm at least happy for that. Because if it was like if it was like Dame not even making the All Star team at all, I would have been pissed. I was like, okay, that's where I draw the line.
Dude, he's one of
But
the hardest working guys in Portland.
yeah, Dame
Good
Lillard
or
is
bad, he has remained steadfast in trying to get his team to win. And you know, I know they didn't get far in the playoffs, but still, they're always that one team that seems to make the playoffs pretty consistently, no matter how far they go. So it's like, on, you got to give him credit.
Yeah, Dame Lillard has been keeping Portland afloat for many years. Like if it wasn't for him, I don't know where Portland would be really. But then yeah, Steph Curry and see, but some people even think somebody else should have been starter over Steph Curry. Then also,
This guy
but
is something. This guy is on a whole level. As far as I know, the past two seasons weren't that great because they had suffered had issues and injuries. But his consistency and his magic, is just on a whole nother level. So for him to say no, for people to say otherwise, is like, come on, man. you know,
well, yeah, because Steph, I mean, Steph, he's always gonna be himself. It's just at the beginning again, they kind of struggled, and everyone thought, see, he can't carry a team. He's washed. Look at him. But he's been carrying the team. He's been
says
doing really well.
it's
So
like you
like,
say
and he's
that you can say that about every great player that has a slump, man. Come on, he's not.
well, it's
He's
because
not
they
the
were making
first,
the
nor
well,
he's not the first, nor will he be the last. Is
well,
what
but
I mean.
see, the comparison was like, well, look at LeBron. He can carry a team. Like these teams, or Russell Westbrook. Westbrook could carry teams into the playoffs, and it's just
And
like,
he's and yeah, but even LeBron has had his fair share of failures where he may have, he even carried his team to the finals and he lost. So it's like,
yeah. But see, people are not going to view that as the same thing.
now how is it not? I
Well,
mean,
well, no,
regardless of
because
any.
dude, at least he was in the finals. Where if Curry didn't make the playoffs, that would be kind of bad on that.
Yeah, but what if LeBron didn't make the playoffs?
There was a couple of times he didn't. But
Exactly,
that's what I'm saying. That's what
exactly.
I'm saying. That's the I think why that argument falls short, because in LeBron's first 2 years, he didn't even make the fucking playoffs. I mean, same could be said about Curry, but it's just like, I don't know, dude. Do you really hold that much stock in fucking rookies that much? And like Luca is one, like, a rare specimen, but
Yeah, in
at
his
the
first
same
year they
time,
went to the.
like, Luca kind of had a little bit of a better cast in some regards than LeBron and Curry did in their first years. So I don't know, that you could take that as you will, but that's the thing. I just Curry is pretty much putting almost near his MVP numbers when he won the unanimous MVP. He's pretty much putting near the same shit, but on a worse team. So let's not pretend that Steph Curry is not like this. He's not an amazing player no matter what he has around him.
Well, yeah, but
And
look at all these players. Look at on both sides, man. They're putting up over 20, 30 points a game, on the regular basis. That says a lot. It's like,
well,
come
I
on,
mean,
you
but see,
can't.
it's also has to do with efficiency, and that's the thing. People, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm pretty certain these guys, for the most part, are efficient. Like Giannis is usually a pretty efficient player. So, I mean, I have to see his stats
I
first
mean,
and
look at him.
foremost.
It just right there, you know, putting up, you know, almost 30 points with over 10 rebounds.
Well,
He's pretty much
12 rebounds.
averaging a double double every game. That,
Hmm.
sheesh. I mean, who else do you know, at least, other than him right now, that puts up a double double every game
Yeah, I mean, and he's not.
consistently? Consistently.
I mean, he's been putting up okay numbers, but he hasn't been playing as well as he usually does. I mean, he's kind of struggled. I mean, he's gotten a little bit better at the free throw line. 3 point range. I mean, he had one game where he was 50%, but the rest of the time he's okay. Regular field goal percentage, he's been kind of back and forth, kind of either just below 50% or even to 72%. But these are just the last 5 games. But like overall, like we have to look at his overall efficiency. But I'm pretty certain overall he's doing well. So I'm not gonna put too much stock on this. Like these guys that are in the All-Star game definitely deserve to be in there. Like
Mm.
Kyrie Irving deserved. Well, actually, wait a minute. Hold on. Kyrie is in it.
Yeah, yeah, he's in there.
Well, I don't know because Kyrie like missed some time. I don't know. I don't know.
Why?
I'm
Because
not.
he
I'm not
didn't
gonna get
play.
into that. I'm not gonna get into that because Kyrie
Why?
is.
Because he didn't play in the playoffs last
No, no,
season.
no, not the playoffs. Like the beginning of the season because he had those issues. Like he had some personal issues and he was like not playing at all, and people were wondering what the fuck was going on. And
No.
yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. You can take that as you will. I mean, Joel Embiid definitely deserved it. He's my front runner for MVP. A lot of people, for people, it's between Jokic and Embiid, and it's been years since centers have been the center of the attention for the MVP race.
Well, look at him. Well, now that I see their numbers, it's like, look at them. They're averaging a double double too. That says, like, man,
Jokic is like
especially
two
for
assists.
centers.
Yeah, he's 2 assists away from averaging a triple double. And that's pretty impressive in itself. Like Jokic is doing a lot, but again, the team is not performing up to par, which is why. And see, that's why I don't think he's going to win the MVP. A lot of people think, oh, he should, and it's like, okay, but he's not doing well. I mean, if he gets at least the fourth seed and this team starts winning, like winning well again, and he keeps putting those numbers, then yeah, I can see it. But I don't know. I don't think he's the MVP, like front runner, in my opinion. I think it's Embiid. A lot of people think it's LeBron, which I mean, I guess that's understandable. But I just think Embiid is putting up better numbers and like he's helping them win. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah,
Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum are all stars, which is awesome.
good for them.
Paul George, and see, a lot of people give a lot of shit to Rudy Gobert. A lot of people are like, why the fuck is that guy in here? Who wants to watch Rudy Gobert? Like, be.
You, excuse me, but have you not checked the record of Utah right now?
Well, no, it's because they think that it's because he's a defensive player and he doesn't put up a lot of points, and like it's like people forget that defense is a huge part of the
It
game,
doesn't. Yeah, it's
and and
like,
I and I
bro.
get it. Like he's not as flashy, but he's still obviously an all-star player. Like,
Yeah,
let's
but
not.
it's like, well, yeah, you look at his, okay, so he's putting up 14 points a game. That's still pretty good if you for for a center. I know, there's some centers now like Jokic and sorry, I forget and Embiid.
Joel Embiid, yeah.
Yeah, that they're just super centers that are able to score. Rudy's not that big of a score, but when he puts up points, he puts up pretty good points. But look at his rebounds.
Well, but
As
also
a defensive player,
Rudy.
rebounds are important as a defensive player. So come on,
Well, in blocks. Well, but Rudy is also not a shooting center, so that's kind of part of the knock on him. He's kind of an older. He's kind of becoming more of a relic in a sense. So I guess I can understand, but he's still decent enough. I don't think people should knock on him the way they do.
No,
I
no.
understand that the fact that he got such a big contract is kind of suspect.
Oh,
I get it,
yeah, yeah.
but at the same time, I don't know. I think Shaq needs to again. People bring up Shaq talking shit on Gobert and Mitchell, but I don't know. He needs to calm down. James
It's like,
Harden
yeah,
made
yeah.
the
It's
All
like,
Star
bro,
game, which is
you
good.
put up you put up. It's like Shaq. Yeah, you put up a lot of points, but you weren't a great shooter because you drove it into the basket. That's what a
Well, I
center's
mean, but
job
that's just
is.
the way the league was. That's
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But you made it happen. Gobert may not be a strong shooter like Embiid or Jokic, but he still gets it. He still tries to put up points. It may not
and
be
when
as
he gets
many,
it
but
done on
still
the
solid.
defensive end.
Yeah.
But see, yeah, again, everyone likes to discredit defense because I mean it's more of a
They
shooting
say
and
defense
offensive
is the
oriented.
championship, man.
I know, but it's just people think of this as a more offensive oriented league now.
Hey, well, you can't get anywhere. You can't really win all the way unless you have defense. They're both important. There's got to be a balance, you
And
know.
that's why it's good that they have Donovan Mitchell on the team too. He's their offense, Rudy's their defense. So it's a team sport, and sometimes people have to play their roles the way they need to.
And people
And then
forget
James
that.
Harden is in the All Star game, well deserved. He's been playing really good, especially now that he's like the point guard for the Nets now. Like, I mean, it's not like he's never been the point guard because he played the position a lot in Houston. But yeah, they put him solely as the point guard on the Nets because it helps them get Kyrie Irving free, and they've been kind of staggering them, which I kind of like. I kind of like that idea to
Why
kind
they
of
flip?
stagger
They
them
rotate them or
in
what?
in a sense, like they start him out and then they put Kyrie out for a little bit and then switch Harden out and put Kyrie back in. Just kind of keeps some like consistent offense.
Good.
So I mean that's pretty good. And Zach
No.
Levine has come to his own this season. He's been doing really well for the Bulls. I'm kind of happy for him. And then of course Dame, you can never go wrong with Dame. Although I don't know. I really think he should have been the starter. Luca was gonna make the All Star team anyway. The only reason he won was because of a tiebreaker, because of the fan votes and the players and association votes, which I don't know. I'm a little tired of fan voting. I think the fans don't take it seriously enough because they
Okay.
vote for people like fucking Alex Caruso. And look, Alex Caruso is not a bad player, but he's a role player, guys. Come on. Like let's be fucking real with ourselves.
So, okay, I may have not have understood how the selection for the All-Star game is done because I never bothered to look into it. But you're saying that the fans get to vote on the players that they would like to see, and also other players a part of the association, the union?
Yeah, the players get to vote on it and the fans. And they kind of base it upon that. Of course, like there's some exceptions that it's like obviously we're not gonna put Alex Caruso in there, but it just feels like it takes votes away from other potential all-stars that could have gotten in there. You know what I mean? It just kind of makes a mockery of the whole situation.
Uh,
But
well, that's interesting to know.
yeah, hold on. Bear with me a minute. I gotta go get my charger. Sorry, y'all. Alrighty, so while I was getting my charger, sorry, folks. I mean, that usually doesn't happen. I'm usually pretty on my stuff, but forgot to plug it in. I just got a low battery signal. So, but hey, I'm back. What's up? What did I miss? What did you say? Did you
No,
say
I
anything?
mean, you
Oh,
know more
okay.
about what's going on in the All Star than I do. Like I said, man, I've been busy. I haven't kept up with this.
Hmm.
So
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean,
until
that's
I'm
fine.
free, like I said, until I'm free from school forever, then I'll definitely be with you on all this from there on out. But it's like I know, like you said, my priorities are not uh elsewhere, but I'm trying.
Yeah. And then once again, yeah, it'll get there. But yeah, so far we have Julius Randle, Donovan Mitchell, Ben Simmons, Chris Paul, Nikola Vucevic, Zion. See, a lot of people were kind of frustrated that Zion got in, but not Devin Booker. And like Chris Paul, everybody was kind of being like, "Hey, why the fuck is Chris Paul in there, but not Devin Booker?" So I don't know. But either way, Devin Booker is in there now, and Domantas Sabonis is in there now. So it's gonna be all right. You all got what you wanted. So let's calm the fuck down.
Both sides are pretty stacked when it comes to the All Star game. So
But
yeah,
the
so it's
way,
just five. So 5 stars and 5 people on reserve, or do they? Or no, it's more than that, right?
yeah, it's five starters and then yeah, some players on reserve. But the way the format is going to be, it's a little weird this year. They're going to be having the gosh, I think they're going to have the slam dunk competition in between, like in the halftime show. Yeah, it's going to be the halftime for the All-Star game.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. They're trying to shake
It's not
things
its
up.
own thing.
Well, it's because I mean the slam dunk contest has been kind of dying. Like overall, the All Star game has been a little bit.
Why?
I mean,
Because
like
every
last year it was great, but this year it's been kind of like, eh.
like nah, man. I mean, I know. I mean, I know it's getting harder to come up with a different special dunk because all the other dunks have been pretty much all the dunks we've ever seen in our lifetime have been thought of. So but even then, man, you never know. There's always a surprise. So hopefully it continues. Okay, yeah, March 7th. Okay, that's why I was about to ask you when the All Star game was. So
Yeah,
it's
it's gonna be
right
March
when.
7th.
So it's gonna be right before spring break. Cool. Definitely would like to talk about that. Maybe this is just an idea. I don't know if I can say it here, but maybe we could have oh, I don't know if it's possible. Maybe a live stream or something like that. Watching it. I don't know.
I mean, we maybe down the line in the future we can consider doing that. I mean, because I mean, I know in locker room a lot of people tend to have like rooms where they talk about the games as it's going. I mean, I'm pretty certain there's already people planning on hosting stuff of that nature. But then, yeah, maybe at some point we can stream the All Star game, but that's going to be when things kind of get back into the center and things are not fucking convoluted. But we'll consider that in the future. That would be badass. It's just yeah, this
Yeah.
year it's a little hard
No,
to plan
I
for
know.
this.
We're still getting things going, so we'll try to see how we can work on streaming and doing live streams and talking about
We'd have to
Well,
get a Twitch at this point.
we'll get a Twitch. I'm down to get one. And I heard it's pretty easy, but like I said, oh, we'll build up to it. Anyway,
Yeah.
I digress from that.
But yeah, so that's like the NBA stuff going on. I mean, I think the game, like the main game itself, I think is gonna be pretty badass. And wow, it's the 70th NBA All-Star game. That's pretty badass. I'm
70
excited.
years, really?
70 years.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's what we got on the NBA. Let's kind of ooh, almost dropped that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the NFL. It's been kind of rumored as of late about Russell Wilson possibly leaving the Seattle Seahawks, but then there was rumors kind of got shut down a little bit. So let's kind of look at this blog here. This is by Kevin Brady. and it's part of the website The Star. So outside of the NFL draft, the time right after the Super Bowl and before free agency kicks off is typically quiet. With the modern NFL, there's never a quiet time for the league. Player empowerment has evolved across all sports. If Deshaun Watson doesn't want to be in Houston anymore, even after signing a long-term contract, then guess what? He's going to force his way out of Houston. And it was the same with James Harden. But yeah, Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson is now the latest player to come out and sort of demand a trade. The official report is that Wilson isn't demanding a trade from Seattle, but if he were to be traded, he'd prefer a very specific list of 4 teams. And he kind of makes a joke of this Twitter from this guy named Reina Rosillo or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of a meh. It's a little bit poor taste. You can decide that. I know the people on the Spotify and Apple podcast are not gonna see what this is, so I'm just gonna say it. So this tweet from Ryan Rosillo explaining his feelings on the report. So I was like, I like my wife, but here are 4 women I'd leave her for. for really
That
poor
is
taste from that
really.
guy.
It's
But
like really,
whatever.
that's not the same thing, bro.
The report brought immediate drama across football Twitter, with the biggest question being, should the Cowboys consider making this move? Is trading for Russell Wilson, who may be a better quarterback than Dak Prescott, a smart play for the Cowboys? How much better, if at all, is Wilson than Prescott? Even enough to warrant trading away draft picks in the deal? Well, so with that in mind, like, here's my deal. They're already not like being straightforward with what they're planning to do with Prescott. I know his free agency is looming again. I mean, they didn't give him a full contract last time, and it almost looks like it's going to be even worse considering the type of injury he just came off of. So at this point, like, what do you say to that? Like at this point, who knows? Maybe if Russell Wilson ends up getting even more perturbed and things kind of escalate to a point where Russell does want to leave Seattle, I mean, would you pull the trigger on trading for him? I mean, it's
Well,
just dependent because he is an older player and the timeline for
and he's
him may
more.
be a little bit shorter. I mean, maybe not super short, but he's definitely older than
But
Prescott,
he has,
obviously,
but he has a little bit more success than
and
Prescott. I
experience.
know, and experience. I mean, a lot of people would think, well, yeah, why don't you jump on it? Because Russell Wilson is very successful. I mean, I know he's got one title under his belt. To
2 appearances in one title, yeah.
Yeah, and some of the things that he's pulled off, as far as when it came to winning games, and especially tight games, is has been mind blowing. So, I mean, I could see that. It's just also, I mean, a lot of people still debate and saying that, oh, he's not Prescott's not like that. Look, he's what, going to be in his fifth year,
A
right?
fourth year,
Or
I
fourth year.
think, right?
He came in 2016, so
Oh yeah, it'll be approximately his fifth. Well, technically, it's like he didn't really play much of last season, so you could take that as you will. But yeah,
it's been about 5 years. It'll
mhm.
be 5 years. So, but he has improved, man. I mean, a lot of people got to give him credit because sometimes he didn't have the right pieces around him, and that's how it is sometimes.
Like I mean,
Like
last year,
like the
dude, yeah, last
Yeah,
year,
like the same thing that they did with Tony Romo. He was like, "Oh, he would have been successful. He just didn't have the right offensive line pieces around him." Yeah, to a point, yes, but when he was doing well and he did have the pieces, he would fold when we least expected. It's like, come on, man. You had the tools, yet you couldn't do it. Prescott, I feel he's more determined, and he's hungry, and he doesn't play scared like Romo did when the first time he got hurt. After he got, because it felt like after he first time Romo got hurt, he played scared, and but with Prescott, he's a mobile quarterback that would run. He wasn't afraid to get hit. He did it to win, and a lot of people seem to. I feel a lot of people seem to disregard that. Um, However, I feel Prescott in a way did kind of in a way screw himself over because the deal that they had offered him was $35 million for 4 or 5 years, plus 100 million guaranteed. He was going to get close to 100 million guaranteed, but I think he argued about the length of the contract. I don't know if he was looking for 4 or 5. I can't remember what it was.
either way, yeah, it just
But it's like, bro, you're still gonna get 100 million guaranteed. Like, like Elliot, yet you turned it down. So I feel he if he I feel like he screwed himself. Now, I mean, of course, who am I to say? Whatever he's looking for, whatever play's looking for is what he wants. Like I get that, but so I don't know what's going to happen this coming over this summer, whether or not. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, Wilson, Wilson, Wilson," but yeah, he's older. But he does have the success. I mean, it's like with Brady when he went to Tampa Bay. I mean, yeah, people could have said, "Oh, he's past his prime," but he made it work and he won a Super Bowl.
I mean, but granted, like
I mean,
he did have a little bit of a better roster. I mean, I'm not saying that they didn't deserve it or that they, you know what I mean. They just had a better roster in general.
yeah,
But yeah, I just with me, I'm conflicted because I do like Dak, but I mean, if Dallas is not gonna in like the fact that they don't even want to like they're not even certain about his future already makes me think they're not gonna re-sign him. That they're just
yeah. It
gonna
just
trade
feels
him.
like they don't giving him an. It just feel like ever since Jack came into the league, it's like he's had to proven a lot. He's had to prove a lot to his teammates. Well, not so much his teammates, but to Jerry and the organization staff and to
The
fans and the
league, yeah.
world. And it just feels like, even with Jerry, I just felt like, oh, we support our government. It just feels so half-assed to
Yeah,
me.
he kept saying it, but it just felt like he never really meant it. It just never felt 100% like he was on board. And
Yeah,
that's just the
and
thing about it. That's the sad situation of all this. It just doesn't feel like Jerry Jones wants to put the future on in Dak's hands at all. And at this point, like, however, for this instance, I can kind of understand it because of the injury that Dak is coming off of, and the fact of shit. Will he even be the same player? You know, if I give him the keys to the franchise and he comes back and he's not even the same player that that he was supposed to be, and then
well,
we've
with an
just now
ankle
screwed
injury,
screwed the fucking franchise for another 5 or 6 years. But see, that's the same thing that happened with Romo was
paid him all
promising.
this
They gave
money,
him this
and
huge ass fucking max contract, and then he kept getting injured and just wasn't the same. So
right.
it's just like I guess they're trying to avoid the same mistake.
Well,
But
I get
with
that.
with
Yeah,
football being the sport it is, sometimes you have to take risks. But either way, I'm
but
just gonna play. I'm just gonna play the whole situation by ear because it's never gonna get resolved. I think at this point, whatever happens happens, and I
yeah,
hope they keep Dak, but I almost feel like it's not gonna happen. I almost feel like they're gonna go for somebody else.
yeah. It's just, look, man. I mean, Dak. There was no way Dak was going to get paid $40 million a year, you know, or 40 million. Like, who was it that got that kind of deal? It's like, no, there's no way, man. You still have a lot more. You're not there yet. So that's why I said you should have taken the $35 million plus whatever was guaranteed. I think it was close to 100 million guaranteed, something like that. And but he just wanted for him to want more as a more in salary. He's just like, no, there's no way. You're
Yeah.
not at that. You're not there yet. You're not close to what Russell Wilson is yet.
Mhm.
But you still were going to get a lot guaranteed, so you should have taken it then. But hey,
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like this is something else that the this person who wrote this article said. The exploring a trade for Wilson simply doesn't make sense for the Cowboys, not when they have a franchise quarterback in the house already, who they can extend without losing much needed draft capital. Because see, that would be the other issue. Is like, you also lose draft picks, and they already have a shitty defense. So maybe you sign Dak and
he's
utilize the draft picks to like
yeah.
help build your defense
Build
because
around him. He's
Wilson is a lot. He is worth a lot. His contract's big. So that's yeah, you take a cap hit plus losing draft picks. So yeah,
They need to build a look. Dak is capable if you gave him the chance. Put the right pieces around him. He can make it happen. But it seems that you don't have a lot of trust in him, faith and support. So how else is how what more do you how can you ask so much from him if you're not going to give that what he needs and all that support and faith? that's just more of a reason for him to possibly walk if it comes to that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm kind of just disillusioned with all of this. I don't know what else to think. At this point, like I said, I'm going to play this by ear. I hope they sign Dak and give him a chance, but then part of it is like, again, I can understand why they wouldn't, considering if he's going to be the same player. I mean, some people think he's doing okay and making a decent recovery, but I don't know. Who knows? Um, it is what it is, and I really hope the Cowboys make a decision that is going to put them in a spot to succeed, because this so many years of mediocrity, even when we had decent records, it's still like the thought process was still that they weren't going to be good enough. Like even like other fans from other teams were like, "Yeah, you're just going to be in one and done again." And half of the time those people were fucking right. So it's just, I don't know. Something has to happen there where they A, fix the defense, and B, stick to somebody and trust in a quarterback that they're gonna, hold on for years, not just, keep fucking with. And that's just the whole situation with Dak. And I wish him the best. I hope he stays, but I'm almost not certain he will.
Yeah, I would like him to stay too because we've seen that glimmer of greatness in him, and it just feels like they're pissing it all away because of oh we're not sure. It's like, well, bro, there's many games where he's shown it. I mean, I don't know, man, but I'm just saying, as long as Jerry is the owner, they're never gonna succeed. Not like they should. And I don't know, man. I feel Jerry's gonna die as owner, and I just don't know who would be a successor. Probably his son Steven, but I don't know if he's going to follow do the same bullshit like his dad did, or finally like, okay, let's turn this around. I don't know, but a lot of people say it's like the Jones family. It's like as long as the Jones family is in charge, nothing will change. But we had that success. I just feel it's like as far as the right person in the family, maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. Something to think of, something to think about for the future.
Yeah, we need to get something more than just shit that happened 25 years ago, man. Like this has got to. We're
It's like we've been,
desperate.
yeah, we've been sitting at 5 titles for over almost 30 years. It's like, come on, we need to add to that. It's been too long.
Yeah. So let's go on to some hockey stuff. Let's see, close that. I'm trying to get back into hockey. Last season was kind of nice because we got to see the Stars in the Stanley Cup final, and they gave a good game, but yeah, the Tampa Bay Lightning was just too, they were too much for the
And that kind of
Stars.
funny. That kind of funny, right?
Hmm.
The Tampa Bay Lightning wins the Stanley Cup, and the Bucks win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Nice. Hey, it's a good day. It's
and
a
the
good couple of years. Well, a good seasons for Tampa.
yeah, and then so as far as the league right now for the NHL, Philly just beat Buffalo 3-0. The Washington Capitals just beat the New Jersey Devils 5-2. Calgary Flames beat Ottawa Senators, I believe, correct? And that's 6-3. The Columbus, I think they're the Blue Jackets, are tied right now in the second. I don't know what they, because they have three
Periods.
periods. So I guess I'll say second period. Uh, so the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Nashville Sabres are tied 1-1. Then we're going to have the Maple Leafs and the Oilers at 7 p.m., kind of a classic. And then Pittsburgh versus the New York Islanders also at 7 p.m. So that's going to be kind
Huh.
of nice to see.
Oh, so
Um,
New York's got two hockey teams, huh?
yeah, the
The Rangers and
Islanders
the
and the Rangers,
Islanders.
yeah. But
That's
as far as
interesting.
the standings right now, kind of starting off the season, this is each league. The National Hockey League, um, I guess they're just going by the each team. Like usually they not have like conferences? I could have sworn. I guess they go by divisions on this one. But yeah, first place right now is the Toronto Maple Leafs with a 19 plus differential. Their away games, they've been like killing it in the away games, and then they've had a 1 game winning streak thus far. The Florida Panthers, they're in second place. Edmonton Oilers are in third place. Tampa Bay Lightning, who last year's champion, is in fourth. Chicago Blackhawks are in fifth. The Winnipeg Jets are in sixth. Carolina Hurricane are in seventh. Boston Bruins eighth. Washington Capitals ninth, and the Las Vegas Golden Knights 10th. So the rest of the league has been kind of well, I mean, for some teams started a little late. Like the Stars actually started a little bit late in the season. They started off like I think they were 4-0, maybe 4-1 at one point, but then since then they've been kind of like staggered, like they've been kind of slacking a bit. So I mean, they've recently had one loss, and they're 6-5 overall. So 15th, no, sorry, 25th in the league. And as far as their division, I think they're sixth in the division. So not a great start for the Stars, but hopefully that does turn around. I don't know what much is going on. I know at one point their goalie was out. I think Qdobin. I think he was out for a bit. So I don't know. Hopefully things turn around for the Stars. I'm wishing them the best. And like in the future, I hope to cover more Dallas Stars. My second favorite is the Anaheim Ducks because I remember when they were the Mighty Ducks. Yeah, that's kind of the team that got me into hockey. 'Cause, as a Disney fan, we watched that Mighty Ducks show.
Well, also the movies too. But yeah, I mean, so they're not the Mighty Ducks anymore. They're
They're
just the Ducks.
Yeah, they're just the Anaheim Ducks.
That's just I don't have the same kind of flair, dude.
I
Like
don't know, but I
Mighty
mean,
Ducks.
but
It's
hey,
like
as soon as they got rid of that moniker, they won a Stanley Cup. So I don't know. Maybe it was worth it.
uh, I guess. But
Yeah,
hey,
but hopefully, future on down the line, I can watch some more hockey, and hopefully, I get some people who are fans of the game to kind of teach me. I might make some locker room rooms where we can chat hockey and kind of teach me. I might do like a little locker room deal when things get a little bit less hectic, where it's like teach me about this sport because I know like baseball again. Like I know enough about baseball to understand it, like to talk about it, but not enough about like the statistics and like what constitutes, hey, what is a good RBI, what is a good, you know what I mean, the statistics in general. I kind of want to learn more about how those good, how to read them, how to understand them, so I
right.
could be a little bit more precise um, in my statements when I make the statements about these teams, because I need to get back into baseball. I need to get into hockey, um, and hopefully I get back to football again with Cruz Azul. They've been doing okay, and we might do something in the next episode to talk about them.
Mm.
Just to see how they are. I don't. I think. Yeah. No. No. Liga MX Bancomer is playing. They've been having some games, so I might look into that in the future, and maybe my buddy on that other podcast. I can't say his name because again, tradición de luchador. You cannot say their identity. So, but they're part of the oh my gosh, they're part of that podcast that talks about mainly football, and they all wear luchador masks, and that shit's pretty cool. Like, they're pretty dope. Um, I don't know why I forgot their name, but I'll post their link in the description again just so they can get some more people. And sabes qué, dude? Get guess who was on the one of their episodes, dude?
Whose episode?
On the soccer podcast, the one that I showed you that my friend is on.
Mm.
Guess who was on it?
Who?
David Lopez Molinar. David was on there, dude.
Bro. Wow. I
That's a
haven't seen
compa,
that.
man. He's a good buddy.
Yeah, he's good. Went to school with him, man. He's a good guy. Wow, I didn't know. Definitely have to join him sometime, man. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, dude. That shit was awesome.
No,
He's been
man.
I think he's been on a couple episodes even. But yeah, that's at least things to think about for the future, and we'll get to those. But okay, right now we're gonna look at some UTEP basketball. So right now, the UTEP men's team, I think they've struggled a bit. They've lost quite a few. I think they well actually wait, let's see. Hold on again. Okay, so actually they've won the last two, but overall they've been kind of lower middle pack of their
Yeah,
group.
All right, well, they're sitting at 500 right now. I mean, it's not horrible, but I know they can do a lot better than that. But it seems like they seem to be struggling on the road a lot. I mean,
Yeah, as you can
home,
see in their,
they're fending home, no problem. But on the road, I just don't know what it is. But they need to try to get together when they're on the road, man. Because yeah, you look at LA Tech. I mean, shoot, there's someone to be wary about. I mean, UAB is looking good. North Texas is looking good. So yeah, come on, guys. I know
well,
you
and
guys.
Utah beat North Texas at one point. But yeah, it's just I think right overall, it's their away games and also the fact it's conference play. They just I don't know what it is about the UTEP and conference play when it comes to the men's team, but they always struggle within this conference. I don't know why, but well, I don't know. Hopefully things pick up for them again.
I pray
But
so.
let's kind of look at the women. Actually, wait, let's see their last few games. So they lost to FIU. I think that's Florida International. Yeah, Florida International.
No, actually, they won.
Oh no, yeah, they won. So they
They
won
won both games
twice. They won both games. So they have Charlotte,
today
yeah, today at 5 p.m.
and then
and then they play
tomorrow.
them again tomorrow. Oh, yeah, but they play against Kansas. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm scared of that game. I mean,
Well,
I love UTEP, but every time UTEP plays a freaking like super like great college like a basketball school, it's just never a good sign. I hope
not
that I'm
true.
wrong, and I hope they get up that UTEP upsets Kansas. But I always shudder every time I see when they play a team like that.
Well, no, I mean, I've seen it before, man. They've given they've given hell to many good teams or bigger basketball schools. I mean, hey, I've seen them beat Oklahoma. I know they're not more that much of a basketball school, but they're still pretty good.
Well,
And then
Oklahoma's
I've
not
seen,
bad. I mean, they were good. They were
yeah,
pretty decent when they had like Trey Young. I mean, and that was
yeah,
not too
yeah.
far
Oh
removed
yeah,
from
that's right.
that. So
Yeah, that's right. He was there. But no, man, they've given hell to Arizona too, man. They've it all depends, man, because we're this can be a damn good basketball team like it was then, and so that's why big teams should never let their guard down ever. So,
yeah,
because hey,
I mean, but granted, this year has definitely been a huge step forward. They're 500. Could they be better? Of course, but I
absolutely,
think they still have really decent pieces with oh my god, what is his freaking name? Why do I always forget? Sulibom, Benjamin Bienmi, and Bryson Williams, dude. Those guys are really freaking good. Like
yeah,
we have a really good team for the most part. It's just making the pieces work together and like making it,
yeah.
fit.
You
But
know what
I
was you know what was funny?
mhm,
One year, uh, I think they played against Auburn, and Auburn's a good team.
mhm.
Uh, and they beat them. I don't know. I can't remember the score, but they beat them, and it was glorious to watch. And guess who was the coach?
Oh yeah, it was Tony Barbie. Yeah,
Yeah,
Tony Barbie.
I
Yeah,
couldn't
but that
stop.
was the year after Tony Barbie left UTEP. Even
That's I couldn't stop laughing because I was like, you so bitch, this was you
yeah,
get
yeah. Tony Barbie's
the team that you talk shit up, and you get your ass handed to you."
yeah. Tony Barbie was kind of a dick. That was a huge dick move when he freaking
Yep.
just jumped ship like that. But yeah,
Yeah,
I wish UTEP the best, and they're gonna continue to
I
move
always
forward,
do.
and we'll see what happens moving forward, and even next year,
Yeah,
like because I don't know like how the conference play is. I mean, they it looks like they're kind of far out of it at this point, but we'll see what happens. But the women's
right.
team, on the other hand, let's move on to them. They've been playing really damn well. They're 12-5 in the conference, 15-7 overall. But okay, I'm a little weirded out as to why North Texas is above UTEP when they're overall. Oh, because yeah, they have three more losses, but they have three more wins. I don't know, man. Like I hate that shit. It's like, so what if they have three more losses? They have three more wins.
Well,
But what?
in conference play, they're better. So
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because of also I think maybe percentages play a factor in general. But yeah,
shouldn't. I mean, it's based on conference play record. So yeah, they should be in second place, unless they haven't updated it yet. But
well, no.
no,
But
actually,
again,
they should be in first because look, see how they organize. I thought my understanding was when I would look at college team or college play in any sport that they don't rank you by your overall record. They rank you by your conference record because of course it's based on the conference. So that's why I was like, no, they should be in first. So I don't know what's the what now. I'm confused.
Yeah, who knows at this point? But I don't know. The UTEP women's team has been really playing well. I know they lost their last game, but they've been playing really spectacular this season. Like 15-7 is nothing to laugh at. It's a really good record, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
happy for them. And let's see, yeah, with Katia Gallegos and all of them, yeah, they've been playing really well. And then this, as far as games, so they lost yesterday, but they won the day before on no, no, not the day before. They won on Monday against Florida Atlantic. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully today at 2 p.m. Oh wow, they're playing. They actually should have started by now. If it's today at 2 p.m. Unless, oh no, but this is Central Time. But actually, no, wait a minute. It is Central Time, and it's 3:33. So the
And they
game should
should
have
be
already
playing.
started.
Yeah,
Whatever. But yeah, either way, I wish them the best, and hopefully they win today. Hopefully I'm able to catch a little bit of it. That's another thing. I might have to start like for my channel. I might do some videos on what I saw from some of these UTEP games. Do some of that as well, just because I need more UTEP stuff and El Paso stuff here on the channel. That's something that I need to like really get back. The roots of where I'm from.
of course.
But yeah, it's for the culture and all that, la cultura. But
Right.
yeah, but anyhow, that's at least what we have for like UTEP and just everything in general. It's been sorry we haven't really gotten back to this as quickly as we could, but it's life gets in the way. I have two jobs and I'm doing my best, but it's been good though. I mean, this is really coming together, and I want to thank the people that have recently subscribed to me. It's been wonderful that you've subscribed to the channel and that you've put some faith in me, and I hope to repay that faith and that with better content moving forward. But for right now, this is what I can do. And when I get more time, I can work towards goals for this that I set at the beginning of the year. But as I stated, I'm not going to announce projects off the bat because I just don't think that's fair to you if I don't put them up in time. But hopefully, I can do some stuff in the future. And again, I'm gonna try and utilize Lockerroom and use some recordings to utilize for our question and answer sessions that we may do on down the line for the podcast, because I think that's going to be really fun. Um, and Locker Room has been really fun. I know Mario recently went on one, and we talked about because I mean usually it's sports, but there's other guys that talk about other stuff like movies and Marvel MCU stuff. Like there's been this guy named Josh Allen who's a really badass guy. I think he has a podcast on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he's pretty chill. I'll also put his ads for Twitter and yeah, his ad for Twitter and his podcast in the description, just so y'all can watch his stuff. Like he's a really like nice guy to talk to, and yeah, I hope to make more connections like this in the future on Locker Room. Like I'm already meeting a lot of people. I get to talk. There's this guy named Damo Upchurch. He's on B Souls's Let's Keep It a Buck podcast. Um, and he is really freaking funny. Like he always gets into debates and arguments, but he's just so funny about it because he trolls people. Like that guy is really funny. Like there's another creator that I saw recently. His name is Alvini Linguine. He's another hell of a content creator, and he posted his whole entire debate with Damo on on his channel. And what's funny because I listened to that entire debate like firsthand, and then when he posted it up for a second time, I was cracking up because that shit was funny. Like there's some funny shit on Locker Room. It's a great community, and hopefully some of y'all subscribers that are not on Locker Room, hopefully you can get on Locker Room and come follow me there. We could talk some stuff when I'm available. It might not be as much. I'm going to at least try to utilize it for my podcast stuff. But if I don't catch you all right away, it's because I'm really busy. But I'm going to do my best, guys. This takes time, and it doesn't start off right off the gate. But thank you all for really putting your faith in me in this channel, and I'm glad that Mario is along for the ride with this podcast, and hopefully it goes further. I mean, again, this is overall a hobby of mine because I love talking sports and I love just interacting with people when it comes to sports. But if this takes off even further, it'll be something. It'll be nice. But yeah, that's really all I had to talk about. I didn't really have any other announcements, but hopefully further down the line, we can organize this because that's another thing. When the 20th episode comes around, I'm going to have a lot of changes to the podcast format, just so it kind of flows a little bit better for the audio as well as for YouTube. I'm going to have like better thumbnails to where it just, looks a little bit more presentable. And we might talk about other things like, because in some of our previous podcast episodes, we've had other stuff like anime and just other ideas like music. I just need to start finding ways to organize this all again. And once we do that, it'll be even better. But I'm definitely excited, and I'm glad that this is going the way it is. But did you have anything you needed to say, Mario?
I mean, I appreciate you guys supporting my brother's channel. This has been a fun podcast to do. I mean, I wish I was more engaged in this, but like I said, I have a lot of, other priorities and obligations at the moment. Hopefully by the summer, those will be done with, so that way I can put more time into this. And bear with me for those that are subscribed to my channel. Everything's been put on hold right now because it's just I don't have any time right now to get to it to pump out content, but I will. So bear with me. There's just a lot of stuff in life that I have to put in front of me right now. So don't lose don't lose interest in what we were doing with our Red Reacts videos. Those will be coming again soon. But like I said, it's just some things I got to do. So yeah, hopefully we'll be making some more Red Reacts videos and other things too. Other, please recommend, stuff to my brother and I as far as what other things that we could do or you would like to see us do. Other reactions or just other things. So, like I said, just bear with us. I'm sure any YouTuber has gone through this before when they started out. So, it's no different for us. So, yeah, but we appreciate your support as always. And please like and subscribe to our channels. That would mean a lot.
Claro que sí. Ándale pues, mi gente, suscríbete a mi canal y hasta el próximo, mi gente. Adiós, adiós. Uy, también, ponte un like, ponte un like. Paz.
Yeah,
Go
paz,
Miners.
adiós.